Just a little touch of his finger.
5 seconds
That's a
remaining.
great pick for Wind and Rain here. And it also makes up for the lack of disables on that Undying. So, strong opening from them. Then on the other side for Hippomaniacs, I like the Grimstroke more with a support that has strong single target capabilities, just because when you start roaming with those two supports and you hit level 6, you have a huge power spike together. But they can still do that if they manage to get an offlaner here who
Dire
suits that
team
style
pick.
as well. Beastmaster is a, well, look at
Beastmaster.
that.
Hello.
A classic combo. Both of them hit 6. You get the double roar, and life's good.
Simple, easy peasy.
Oh yeah, and ease of execution is so important. So Beastmaster also provides a lot of vision advantage. Oh, I love it when I can go with my
10
Beastmaster end.
seconds remaining.
Beastmaster does everything. He gives you vision, he gives you out push, you get some minions,
5
you get an
seconds
aura, he
remaining.
scales well, and he's got a BKB piercing stun. What else do you want outside of a man? Outside of a man. Sorry.
You
Well,
kind of derailing
I'm
your
getting
train of thought
I'm
right
getting
now.
carried away here. I'm sorry, it's the bear chest.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Although, to be fair, just look at his legs though. He's got weedy little legs. My dude definitely skipped leg day.
I think it would look better if he'd stand straight up, but he's got this bow-legged thing. But you know what? You know what? When a man has a BKB piercing stun, do you really care about leg?
Radiant team back.
True, true. He's got everything we could need. And there's a Juggernaut coming out, actually, into the Beastmaster, so they don't really care about that BKB penetrating stun, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a full counter or anything. The Juggernaut's going to do well in the lane regardless, although, of course, he has to watch out that he doesn't feed his healing ward away to the boars.
Dire team back.
Yeah, there's a lot which Beastmaster can do to really kind of rustle the Juggernaut's gym bobs here, so we'll have to play around him.
The problem is that with the OD on the mid lane, you want a safe laner who can make a bit more tempo, play a bit more up independently, and the Juggernaut definitely fits the bill. Any other options against the Beastmaster would have
10
also
seconds
been
remaining.
pretty rough. Like, do you see another lifestealer happening? I don't think so.
5 seconds remaining.
Isn't it possible? Also, yeah, I want to see Hippomaniacs pick up a strong lane for Supreme again. They ban out the Brood on Wind and Rain. This is gonna be 10th pick for Supreme, so he can really go to town, but he is gonna have to lane against an OD. Kind of feeling like it's gonna be a sniper.
That would make a lot of sense in the matchup itself. They didn't set them up very well with a lot of front line here. And Sniper does not
10 seconds.
stomp the OD.
Yeah,
Just pretty well.
Oh, I was about to say they don't have much catch, but now with the Centaur, it might be a little less appealing. But it's also
It's
someone
probably
who can hit the
anticipation.
tombstone. I mean, they really need to put someone who can bring.
I'd like Lina more.
Yeah, Lena is the other.
Like, it's still not that much frontline, but it's more burst damage. She
10
scales in right click
seconds
as well
remaining.
as that she comes with her own disables, which makes her a
5
lot less
seconds
sensitive.
remaining.
For example, this centaur at her. She can still bring down the tombstone, and of course she has a magnificent option to light strike array exactly on the Outworld Devourer's saves. Which is one of the reasons why people really like running her into. So
yeah. Makes her
I personally like her more. Oh, and Grimstroke, double Laguna.
True, yeah, double Laguna Crown sounds pretty exciting, but instead, they're gonna go for the Meepo. Hippomaniacs throwing a huge curveball here and putting out Supreme Meepo. Well, I mean...
This is the pick that got them past Liquid.
Is it?
Yes. It was an hour-long slugfest, but they took off the point of the frontrunners of the group with that Meepo.
Very good. The Supreme styling up in the mid lane. It is, I mean, I thought Meepo didn't do very well versus Sodi.
Yeah, I don't think it's great either, but there's very few matchups where you're going to be like, oh yeah, Meepo's gonna destroy this guy.
10 seconds remaining.
So I think he's going to do decent. This is a Radiant Meepo as well, so he's going to get the transition into the jungle very easily. And they've already picked up the hero, which is going to take over the mid lane after he does that, which is the Grimstroke. Great at holding lanes. It can make tempo with the Beastmaster and with the Ember Spirit as well. Can get active early. Is that like I see how the dynamic of this lineup is supposed to work. So unless he gets really destroyed in that mid lane, I see how it moves into the mid game.
Yeah. I think you're usually okay when you get level 3, you get the second Meepo, and then you can kind of start to rotate them around. And, OD's pretty single target focused. I think you're okay. Not a matchup I've seen.
Like, one of the things that's nice about it is that an OD is not great about moving into the jungle himself. He can do it, but he's on Dire. He's not great at it. He'd rather, stay in lane and be that lane dominator. But yeah, with a Meepo that moves back so fast, the OD is going to get a lot out of that for sure.
Yeah.
But it doesn't
He's gonna
mean
have
he wins the lane, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be a complete run over, but it's probably going to be an advantage. Pretty heavy. Aura. And obviously he can jungle pretty efficiently. But then again, we're against a Meepo who is a pretty good
Prepare for
jungler as well
battle.
himself. It's going to be a battle of efficiency between Hippomaniacs and Wind and Rain, and we'll see if they can hold back Supreme's Meepo here. But I'm pretty excited to see it. I mean, obviously, he's feeling pretty riled up about last game and still wants to be that win condition, be that big hero, big playmaking fancy hero on the front line. So we'll see if he can have a slightly better game this time around. In last game, he didn't have a bad time on the Invoker. He had a really good laning phase, and in the mid game, he was getting work done as well. But unfortunately, in the super late game, when it really started to matter, he did succumb to the pressure a little bit. Well, Boogie going to be absorbing up some of these towers. Only coming over, and he's only got a Crystal Nova, so there's no real aggressive potential onto Boogie here.
Let's see what the lanes are going to shape up to be. If this is going to be a tri-lane situation, the advantage definitely goes to Wind and Rain, because they are going to win this mid matchup for sure. And Nefrit's going to be okay on that top lane versus Beastmaster. He's not going to be happy, but he's going to do fine. And Undying is the tri-lane.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't tri-lane into Undying, so I imagine it's just going to be the usual where they fight for the rune and then send one person up top. That seems to be the done thing right now. Curry getting forced off the rune as Hannah actually comes to help out with this one as well. And Wind and Rain, I think they've just managed to secure themselves 4 bounty runes. And then onto the Ember Spirit. But yeah, no one's going to be able to... Muff could maybe sneak around the back and grab the other bounty right now if he's feeling smart, but decides against it. And yeah, that's going to be all 4 bounty runes going the way of Wind and Rain as Nikwa goes and claims number 4.
Very nicely done. And yeah... It was a nice dream to think that maybe Wind and Rain keeps pressure up on that bot lane and tries to see if they can force his Ember Spirit to have a worse time. But I think that this Beastmaster gets too much out of the top lane, now that I think about it more. So, you're completely right. Muff is on a top lane, Beastmaster Grimstroke, classic combination by now. And Yol is going to zone them off from this creep wave as much as possible while he still has mana. To make sure Nefrit gets a good start.
Beastmaster was just using the ball more than anything to pull the creep wave around. Yeah, look at this. He's dragging them over. 2 little balls just going to bring them around the back. So they don't have to worry about Yol and his annoying decays.
One of Undying's problems is he's slow. He shambles.
Oh. Beastmaster? Okay, he's letting the creep wave go back here. And just going to push it to a safe space. But it looked like he was preparing to take him behind the... Yeah, he's... Okay, I don't know what Curry's doing here. He's having issues, I think.
I'm not entirely sure either. I think a lot of it depended on what Muff could get done behind the tower. And this is a position that +4s really like, where, yeah, your offliner is busy pulling creeps, so you can take all of the last hits behind the enemy tower if they drag their own creep wave out. Level 2, nice and rich.
Yeah, unfortunately no kill potential on Yol. Whilst it might look like there is, unfortunately Yol can just mango and decay again at any given point and give himself 4 more strength. That's just annoying.
You never saw me, alright?
Well,
And
Yol
Meepo.
has managed to give the Juggernaut a better lane than this Ember Spirit has had so far, though.
Oh yeah, 100%. And Curry's trying to play around with the creep wave, but Nefrit is more than capable of CSing under tower, so it's really not a big deal. Meanwhile, Meepo did manage to hit level 3 in the middle lane without any problems at all as Yol kills himself to the tower. And he's just going to be jungling between the Radiant medium camp and the lane and blast it out. Does get a deny on the range creep there, Hannah, unfortunately, for Supreme. But now level 4, he can just continue to keep on playing around these lanes, and he's having a great time so far.
And if you look at how his other lanes are doing, they're definitely going to need him to do well again. Like this is... I'm looking forward to seeing how he deals with the pressure. Meepo is in that regard even more of a technical hero than Invoker, is that you don't have too many options in what you gotta do. There are certain times you gotta hit him very hard. So curious to see if he can just mechanically play this out or not. Because I do think that he has a good option here. There's not too many either teamfight ults or big obstacles on the side of Winter Rain.
I think we're just playing on very low HP into Boom and Senny right now, but he's okay. He knows his worth. He also had some stick charges I didn't see as well, but just being very close. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, they do get the kill actually onto Curry in the end. And Grimstroke was nowhere nearby. It looks like that was just a spin, basically, from Nefrit. He had those brown boots, the Beastmaster, and Nefrit just runs him down. Easy peasy. Now they got Phase on Juggernaut as well, so it's going to be even scarier for Curry to survive in this lane, but he's going to come back and just try and do the same thing anyways. Meanwhile, Muff trying to grab the creep wave across, but Yol's trying to pull, and it's all getting very messy over here, and again, he's going to try and grab the creeps over. Does get the successful pull that time around, but Muff and Curry going to try and force him back, and he's going to dance his way through. Yeah, there's no play here.
Undying is such a bad target to go on.
He's so annoying. I hate him so much.
Extremely tanky, huge turnaround potential.
And he steals a large creep with the Soul Rip, and now the spin coming through onto Curry. Curry's just getting melted by Nefrit right now. I don't think he's going to survive this one. A couple more right clicks. Nope, just one more will be required, and he gets it. And another kill onto Curry will mean this is a very successful top lane for Wind and Rain.
So that same situation that Muff really liked, where he gets to take XP behind, also meant that Curry didn't even have his boots yet, and you can see how a boots advantage can just swing a lane. Nefrit didn't even need the Undying anymore to run the Beastmaster down. Yeah, Muff, you gotta actually take care of your Beastmaster now. You gotta bring in those creeps because he needs them.
Yep.
He needs them bad.
He also nearly missed a bounty rune, but will eventually end up going to grab it. So
Under attack.
Finally, Hippomaniacs get a singular bounty rune in this game.
Well, we were talking about OG earlier. If OG doesn't care about bounty runes, do you need to? The answer depends entirely on your place.
Mid lane, meanwhile, Supreme, he's taking a little bit of abuse from Hannah here, but again, you know, there's the single target damage from the OD.
Nikwa is gonna go down, no?
Oh, bottom lane as well. Everyone's getting super low down here as well, and Lion's able to escape just about. Some nice blocks from Boogie, help him get out of there, okay, and everything is hunky dory in the bottom lane.
Everything's hunky dory for Wind and Rain in general, I think.
Yeah, they're having a good time with this right now.
Doing really well. The Meepo is getting not even more out of that lane than the OD, and since he's not even close, now that the catapult wave is coming in, this is only the 5-minute catapult wave, OD can already start dealing damage to the tower.
Yep. We're going to change to a very early net worth because, honestly, the last hits aren't really telling us much right now because the Meepo's been in the jungle so much. There's been a bunch of kills happening in the top lane as well, so we will see the net worth chart and see the Juggernaut well and truly ahead right now. Muff is just getting punched in the back of the head by Yol over and over again. Another decay coming out. Nefrit coming around the other side of the tower as well. He's going to drop down the tombstone even with a spin coming out. That's going to be a dead Muff. That's a kill for Nefrit. Another kill for Nefrit nonetheless. But Supreme's TP'd over. He's looking for Yol, but this is a hard target to bring down, especially with this little skeleton slowing him up. Supreme, though, he's still going to come in for this one, but can't really find the range for the Earthbind, so we'll just get back to jungling, I would guess. So he's taunting him. He's saying, come at me, bro. I'm ready for you.
Supreme?
Muff is joining in the party, but Supreme just, poofs on the spot. Okay. Interesting. Fight still rages on up in the top lane, but they've managed to get this ink spell off, and Supreme getting in his Meepos, and finally Yul will pay for his greed. That was a little bit too long on the old, you know, poking and joking, but meanwhile, Nefrit, he's managed to get a kill onto Curry and TP himself out of the same breath. That was very nice from him. Meanwhile, Shenny goes down in the bottom lane as Neek was able to pop him off with Boogie. And all across the board, things looking worse and worse for Hippomaniacs right now, as they do manage to get Supreme a kill, but pretty much all on the Meepo right now. This laning phase is not going well for their other heroes.
Not at all. And this Beastmaster is also not investing in his own survivability that much. He is going for the Vlad's rush, saying, alright, you know what, I'm just not going to play with this Juggernaut anymore. All I want to do is farm for myself, get this team item up, and then hopefully we can group up and turn things around. But it is a rough one.
Yep, the power of friendship needs to bring Hippomaniacs together and help them through this tough time of theirs, but you know, I think they're a pretty positive team. They'll hold it together as the Stampede comes down onto the bottom lane. Oh no, the Ember Spirit caught out. They're trying to slow them down though. They might be able to get 1 or 2 return kills from this. In fact, it's definitely going to be both the return kills. The Supreme comes flying through with that haste rune. Now it'll be Boogie and Nico both paying for the kill onto the Ember. So again, you know, they're sacrificing their Ember Spirit, but they're getting kills on the Meepo. All things going interestingly for Hippomaniacs right now.
It just feels like their eggs are too much in one basket. Look at the net worth on Boom. He is nearly getting overtaken by Nikwa. Yeah, the Meepo is getting some kills there, but he's going to have to do it all alone in like the next half hour, and that's not a fun prospect. Look at him. The Beastmaster is already in his jungle. There's already wards.
Yeah, bottom lane, Shenny being chased down. He's hexed up. He's spiked in. Centaur Warren, he's 1 more hit. Oh, never mind. The creeps will grab it. Share the bounty amongst his 3 pursuers there as Wind and Rain get a kill onto the 5 position. Not a huge deal, but still just constantly finding these little pickoffs and little snacks across the map.
They get the bottom tower for this now.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Then who could
Crystal
even
Maiden.
pop the retaliate for it if they just wanted to bring it down quickly. Muff's making his way over, but I think they've seen him in the trees. Sneaker is hunting. They got the tombstone down as well. Muff's realizing he's in a pretty bad position right now. The double edge, the right clicks from Boogie with that retaliate result in an easy kill. But meanwhile in the mid lane, they get the rotation on to Hana as Supreme comes in with Boom and Shenny. So they get something from this as Nefrit's still trying to play around with Boom here. Boom unable to do anything about this Juggernaut though.
I'm curious to see what this Juggernaut's gonna go. He's got the drums, he's going into the Yashin next. I get that he wants to keep the tempo up. At the same time though, I'd actually love to see him go into that Mjolnir pretty fast. Just because of the extra lightning bounces during the Omni Slash, the extra farming speed. You do want to be able to put someone opposite this Meepo. Because yeah, Meepo can. We've all seen it happen. Meepo can and will 1v5 if given an opportunity. And right now, Supreme just finds
He's gonna go 1v2. Let's see how this one works out. But they've got a lot of AoE stunts here, but he's trying to play around the trees. He's doing so a very nice job as well. But 1, 2, 3 Meepos all caught out by the Centaur, and he's gonna stampede them away. But still, a 1v3 attempt nearly goes very successfully to Supreme here. So yeah, I mean, as you're saying, we're talking a lot about the Meepo being 1 versus 5, but if there's a hero you want to be in a 1v5 situation, it is almost definitely something like the Meepo, Huskar, Brood, anything like that. These heroes are capable of carrying games all by themselves, but it's still a big ask, especially in competitive games. So the Raw's going to come out on top, holding still the Juggernaut. Supreme's in as well, getting the Meepos over here. They're going to get these Hearthbinds off with the... they see the healing wall behind, but I don't think they care. The Omniflex is bouncing through, but this seems just to be a waste of a spell from Nefrit here. That said, they're managing to hold them back a little bit longer as the line comes in, but in comes the Breaststroke. He manages to get off the bind, but Nefrit still on the run. If Lion dies to keep Nefrit alive here, that is totally worth it. Ember Spirit trying to close the gap. He's got the chains holding him still. No Blade Fury for another 5 seconds. They're going to be able to tear him down. Nefrit will die, and Supreme gets yet another kill, and now they can look towards taking their own tier 1 up in the top lane. Meanwhile, Hannah's doing some dewarding at mid and trying to get some pressure onto the tier 1 himself, so all a bit of a violent couple of minutes here, and Supreme now taking the top net worth chart as he brings down the Juggernaut in a very, very vital kill for Hippomaniacs.
5 heroes to chase down the Juggernaut, but it doesn't mean they get the tower trade, and I'm a little bit surprised Nefra just not seeing that coming because the top lane is going to be the target if you're getting the bottom tower for free. And yeah, he also should have seen Curry itemized for that blast. There's a hold that thought. Hannah is dropping the hammer in the mid lane. Getting 1 kill, 2 kills.
Yeah, the
Supreme
damage is
gonna
really
get out.
coming out. The double damage OD going to work, but Supreme has them all bound up. The stun comes in, but the one Meepo caught inside the Astral continues. The stun's coming through, but they're going for the kill. They're going for the back Meepo. He's trying to get himself away. The Meepo's so low. He's still trying to fight up here, bringing them all across, but it looks like Supreme will finally fall. Shenny, oh god, there's too many zombies. They're eating her alive. Down goes the Crystal Maiden, and Curry, the last one alive, but not much longer as he's torn apart by all of these zombies and the hungry heroes on the side of Wind and Rain as they finally manage to catch a break, killing off this Meepo and getting some vital space in this middle lane. And they can look to put the pressure onto the
Are you
tower.
sure?
Muff and Boom. They're going for this. And Go says Supreme from the sidelines. He's feeling it right now. Boom just running around them. They're just ignoring him as he dodges out the stun. Nicely done by Boom. He is playing some Dota right now, but unfortunately, it's not really going to mean too much in the long run. There's no real kills which is going to come of this. He's just kind of having some fun. Wind and Rain will take that tower, back themselves away, and continue to gain an advantage in this game. Currently a 5k gold advantage, and killing the Meepo, absolutely key here. But he did just finish off this Eagle Song. I'm not sure if he grabbed that before he died or what, but still, having that Eagle Song is a pretty big deal. So the Ethereal Blade going to be an option soon. Not just for being more aggressive potential, but also for shutting down this OD a little bit. It's essentially a Heaven's Halberd. So that is going to really affect Hannah.
And Hannah's not going to be too happy that he had to die there for that fight to happen, but at the same time, there's a lot more space on the map right now. With that middle tower down, pretty much all of the outers are gone except for top left, which is... Nobody cares about the offline tower, basically.
Yeah, it's like a nice little +1 tower, but yeah, you're not going to be like, dear God, we need to take it. Unless there are some heroes which want to take control of this part of the map.
It's going to be hard for the Dire to fight up into that triangle anyway, what with the Beastmaster Hawk sitting around.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to take it easy for now. If someone's going to play up, it's most likely going to be this Juggernaut, who has a Yasha finish by now, got that drums as well, and is nimbly dodging out the nets that are getting thrown by Supreme.
Nothing but net. In fact, not even net right now. It's now the Stampede coming in. They're looking to turn around onto Supreme right now. The Brimstroke coming in, trying to help out his homie. Senny's here as well. He's got the Freezing Field. Supreme's losing health real quick. They're all stunned up. And in comes a Freezing Field. But London's going to take down Supreme and the Crystal Maiden. Wind and Rain turn around, bringing more heroes to the fight and taking down Supreme. Once again, the game starting to slip out of their hands right now as everything they relied upon, all their eggs are smashing in their wee basket, and there doesn't seem to be a whole lot they can do about it. I don't know why they're coming to these fights and not bringing 5 heroes. Hippomaniacs playing like they're in front when they're really, really not.
And there was a switch up as well, right? Because before the Meepo was really angling for these kills on heroes that were separated from the rest of the team, but he's just showing in lane farming right now. And that's not the way the comeback was working in the first place. Hippomaniacs smoked up right now, maybe looking for another one of those pickoffs.
Yeah, I mean, they can probably kill Nikwa here. I mean, Nefret's looking from the sidelines like, hey Nikwa, how's it going? And he's like, not too good, mate. And he's like, alright, see you later.
Yeah,
We'll drop.
I'll be right back.
That was toasty.
Most important part there, Hana did not have to get involved at all. He's got that Midas after the smooth laning stage, which we knew he was going to have an open time. But after that, he's got a Force Staff now as well, and he's going to be moving into that Hurricane fight pretty quickly. And after that, it's going to be so hard for Hippomaniacs to deal this huge damage, to lock this huge damage dealer on the backlines now.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a threat, if he's not already, to be honest. It's just, yeah, you look at this net worth chart, and it pretty much tells us everything we need to know, you know. Supreme is having a good time, but, you know, he's having, comparatively for most Meepos, he's having a pretty average time now. He had a good start, but now it's kind of meh. Meanwhile, Hannah, Nefret, Boogie, they're all having a really, really solid performance right now. And then Boom is just desperately trying to claw his way back into this one as he again jumps one in the bottom lane. Actually, Nika's on top of Nefret as well. They'll pump in that finger. He is able to get away, though, with the Sleight of Fist. And actually considering coming back in on this one as the whole of Hippomaniac coming through here. But now with Yol turning up to the fight, dropping that Tombstone, it's making this much less tasty. But they will kill off Nikwa. But it looks like Shenny might be going down as well. But still, they're hesitant. They don't want to commit too hard to a Crystal Maiden kill. and end up giving up more than they want to. But in comes the Outward Devourer. He's sneaking his way into this fight right now. Gonna commit to this. Doesn't look like it for now. Hippomaniacs.
Very nicely.
Yeah, they're holding the high ground, which is important. Supreme, though, don't get too carried away here, my friend. He's looking once more, looking towards the Undying. He's got the poofs. His team, no, that's Meepo's not coming in, which I think is a bit of a blessing, really. I feel like if Supreme commits too heavily to that kill, then Wind and Rain would have responded. Even though they don't have the Stampede, they still have the Blink on the Centaur, so I wouldn't have been surprised if Meepo had boofed them all in. They just jump in and kill him.
That was definitely not to go right there. On an Undying in the river, when you know their entire team is winning uphill, I don't think so.
Yeah. And on the smoke up from Wind and Rain, they're going over to the triangle. They know this Meepo's going to be farming up, and they're going to be absolutely correct in their prediction. He's gone. He's gone. They're jumping him straight away. Most of the Meepos TPing actually in. They're poofing into this one, but they won't be able to save the one Meepo on the back, although they're keeping him alive long enough to get some real damage off onto this OD. OD is dropped, and the one Meepo getting himself away, and Boogie's trying to chase him down, but no. Net comes out. The damage is in. Boogie is going to fall, and Supreme survives. Oh dear, that Astral was not the play. Now they look over towards Nikwa as well. Nikwa held still, does manage to get the 3-man growth spike, but that's not a big deal. And there's a Meepo in the game, and they can just turn around and boop. In comes the Ethereal Blade to finish off the kill. 3 heroes now dead as Wind and Rain take an absolutely terrible gank into the Radiant Triangle. And how you doing, says Meepo, as he taunts them up and gets into the Roche pit. They'll be looking for an Aegis into the hands of Supreme right now, and they might well just get it.
Curry has his lads all the way from the start right for this purpose. Hippomaniacs are really playing all for their Meepo right now, and they're so comfortable with it. Whereas on the side of Wind and Rain, like that ult drop from Hannah was just way too early. Too trigger happy. You could see that it didn't even deal half damage to the Meepos.
Yeah. It's wasn't cost effective. It did. I mean, you know, the Astral, obviously, to keep that one Meepo at bay, you know, most heroes, that's the right play. I think that's the Meepo, though, it becomes a little bit awkward because the rest of the Meepos are still alive, they're still damaging you, they're still using their spells, and you're like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, we're going to kill this one when he comes out of the Astral, but in the meantime, he's just turning the fight around, and then his team arrives, and you've given him time to get his team there. All in all, turned out not to be the right thing to do, I think. But then again, if they'd had enough damage anyway to kill him off without the Astral, I don't really know. So that's another question which deserves to be asked. But now is not the time. Hippomaniacs, they're looking for some violence right now, and then Supreme's going to jump into the front lines, finds the net. That's going to be a free one. Yell's going to drop into the grave. And Shenny looking really deep for a +1 here, and Boogie is around, but he's got a blink, so we'll be able to just blink past him. So the blast comes out. Shenny is chasing Boogie with his Stampede, able to get himself away. He did also spot Shenny warding here, so that's going to be a bit of a plus, I guess. Supreme's going to grab up with this Arcane Ring as well.
Yeah, I don't imagine they're going to defend right there. Hannah's still got about half a minute left on that Sanities. And you really want to be able to drop that hammer into these big team fights versus, not just versus the Meepo, but also versus the Ember Spirit and versus the Beastmaster. And this 5-man unit of Hippomaniacs, they're feeling strong. You gotta remember that not only is the Meepo the hero that they took down Liquid with, it is also, it wasn't actually that good of a Meepo game back then either. Supreme wasn't having their greatest game, but they played it out anyway, and they dragged out the win. So you can't just think, alright, well, we made him uncomfortable, this is going to be it, because this man has an Aegis, he has an E-Blade, and he's going for the high ground.
Yeah, that's flying out onto the backlines, but Boogie jumps in, is able to get a nice big stun off, but now frozen up by the Crystal Maiden, but the Tombstone is down. Do they still want to fight into this one? I'm not sure they have much of a choice. The zombies are coming in thick and fast. Shenny trying to back himself out. Supreme as well on the run. The blast coming through from Muff as well. The Omni Slash bouncing through, but with so many heroes, it's not really going to get much done. They'll be able to spell the Healing Ward as well. The double roar coming out. They send the Juggernaut flying into the enemy base. They'll be going to be able to save down one. Now OD on the foot just under his tower. The net's going to come flying through. Hannah, though, the Ethereal Blade, and Boom's on top of him as well, but Boom, in comes the ultimate. The hammer is dropped, but it's just not doing enough. Boom's able to take down the OD. Supreme's in deep. They're targeting up the Centaur right now, but the stun comes through onto all 4 Meepos. Can they find any more from this? I'm not really sure, but they're certainly looking for the buildings, but that one Supreme Meepo might be falling down, but he's got an Aegis, and jump he goes onto Hannah. Hannah gets the Astral off onto himself. They'll take down the Meepos first light, but the backlines are taking down Nikra and Yul, and down goes Hannah as well in the end. Curry will drop, but it's a very small price to pay. They're going to be able to take down down the bottom lane barracks. And, well, nothing more is available for them as the tier 2s are still up. But Hippomaniacs just swing this game right the way back around in their favor as Supreme just takes to the skies. This is a terrifying Meepo to play against. And he is just blasting through the Wind and Rain heroes.
Yikes.
Dyer's
Yikes.
Oh, that just went from bad to worse. You see that again, Hana doesn't have a good way to get his stacks up without dying first, and they're going to lose their entire map control right now. The OD, who is like the big damage dealer, is going to be set so far back. And
Dyer's top shrine is under
they just
attack.
don't have the damage, do they?
No, I was wondering there why the OD was failing to do damage to Meepo. He was missing 20% evasion. I think he missed like 2 or 3 times in that small amount of time. And I mean, you know, that was with the Meepo had the Aegis, but if you'd taken him down now at least once, then it could have meant something. But with that level 15 talent, he was absolutely fine. But now the damage is coming in onto the tower. Yol is sitting here under the Shadow Amulet. This isn't a chappy play. He's just waiting, getting some information. Hope.
If you hold very still, you can't see.
Vision is based on movement. Now the
Well,
final tier 2 is going to be sieged.
Yes, and Meepo has launched himself because you get these really hard timings, right? You get a really hard timing on your E-Blade, you get the second one on your Blink Dagger, and especially if you have enough momentum, oh, he's gonna have to keep his momentum throughout this fight.
Muff is the one being jumped on straight away, but he's surviving an awfully long time here, actually able to drag his way through the fight, and the double Grim Stroke Roar coming in once again. Supreme turning around, focusing on that tombstone, and that will be successful. And again, the Omni Slash just getting so little done. Nefrit trying to run himself away, but without their OD, they really don't have the damage, so Nefrit's just on the run. The double damage, and the Spirit is trying to chase him down. Meanwhile, the backlines of the fight, Boogie does get taken down again. Curry will drop, but I mean, it's a very small price to pay for a huge win for Hippomaniacs once again. Boom finishes the job up at top. Meanwhile, they're still trying to taste down the Lion here. I mean, I feel like they're spending a lot of time just grabbing a Lion kill, but they will get him. And
Supreme's having fun now.
yeah, he's just chasing down a bit of sport hunting, right? Now coming up onto the high ground, and the buildings are starting to fall. They don't actually have creeps for a very long. Oh no, never mind, the creeps are right here. I'll look on the mini map. Ignore me. Anyway, middle tier 2, tier 3, barracks. They're all falling all together. Top lane is not exposed just yet, but they can run and take that tier 2 if they want to, and they certainly will. Hippomaniacs, they're just not thinking of shutting down the pressure or anything near soon. Meepo, ridiculously far ahead. Level 20. Level 21 now even, as he's just getting absolutely insane.
He's got the
10%
life
less
steal
deal
man as
talent,
well.
yeah.
Well, what I was going to say before that fight broke out, which is, by the way, this was exactly the same fight that Wind and Rain took last time, which is, alright, it's nearly too late, let's take a flanking fight in our own jungle. But this time, this Meepo is just too big, they don't have the team fight to do with him, and he already had a Hex ready after how much he got out of his first timings.
Yeah, and the ability to just turn around and focus a tombstone down in the middle of the fight just eliminates all risk from Hippomaniacs. That's what allows them to chase down so far. They got 2 extra kills because they focused on that tombstone in the middle of the fight as well.
And I can't help but wonder if Wind and Rain wasn't suffering from more of like the mental pressure of playing against this Meepo than from the Meepo actually doing anything. Like the big misstep of this game, where they lose Hana and Boogie.
Oh god, yo. Thinking of going for some cute Shadow Amulet plays in the backlines, actually. The Meepo's going in deep, but he's taking some pretty heavy damage, down to about half HP on most of his Meepos, but it doesn't really matter as Nefrit is dropped, and now going on the OD. OD trying to turn around and fight back, but just gets claimed inside the Astral, but the GG is called. Wind and Rain have had enough. They can't take it anymore. 26 minutes in, and Supreme and the gang will take game number 2. Revenge for game number 1. It comes in sweet, and it feels great. And Wind and Rain, they get their carrots steamed by Maniacs in the second match here.
Very decisive. Like, and it looked pretty bad from the laning stage. It's easy to give all the credit to Supreme and how well he played this Meepo, which I think he did superbly, but I gotta say, Muff with this Grimstroke, those double ults, the double roars, they were perfectly ready for that every single time. No panicky throwing out the ults too soon from either of them. That just made the team fights that much harder to play into for Wind and Rain. Every time their front line came forward, whether it was Nefrit and Boogie or Yol on his poor Undying, that man just can't seem to catch a break, can he? They were
No.
just all immediately counter engaged upon by that Grimstroke ult, getting locked down for 4 seconds, and then having this Meepo whack away it. It was pretty brutal, and just an overall really strong team effort from Hippomaniacs. They clearly believed in this Meepo plan. They had everything ready for it. So even though the start looked pretty dicey, everything came together just fine in the end.
Yep, in the end, the stars did align, and I kind of feel like you can almost hear the locker room talk of, just whoever's making the speeches on Hippomaniacs being like, guys, come on, we know that we're better than Wind and Rain. We know we can take this victory. Let's just play some fun, quick Dota, bring the fight to them, and take them down. That's exactly what they did, and that'll leave Hippomaniacs with a 1-1 draw versus Wind and Rain, which does make it kind of hard for them to actually finish off these groups in a good position where they can actually qualify through to the playoffs. However, it might put them in a pretty decent position to maybe get through to the minor qualifiers. I believe it's top 2 in the group go through to the playoffs. Third position in the group goes to the Dota Summit 11 European qualifiers. And yeah, I think that's how that works. Do you know more about this than me?
I don't actually, so I'm going to really quickly catch up on that. I just know that the qualifiers got combined, but I'm not actually sure in what way they're going to, splice off the major teams versus the minor teams.
Yeah, well, I mean, it says that the qualifiers are combined, but I believe the open qualifiers and the group stages are combined, and then the results of the group stages determine who goes through to the. So there's only going to be a closed qualifier for the summit. And yeah, okay, this is how it works. Okay, are you listening?
I am.
All right, so third place
All
from
ears.
both groups go straight. If they don't get a chance in the playoffs, they go straight through to the minor qualifiers, okay? And
Okay.
then if you drop out of the playoffs, then you go to the minor qualifiers as well.
All right.
So third place in the groups, you don't get a chance at the playoffs, you just go straight in through the minor qualifiers, and then you've got 2 teams which drop out of the playoffs. They will also be going to the Dota Summit 11 European qualifiers as well. So a pretty good chance to make it into the Summit qualifiers. A little bit of a trickier path now for Hippomaniacs to make it through, as I believe they've drawn every series they've played now. Yeah. They've drawn every series they played, so their final series will be against Singularity, which are currently one of the group leaders, drawing with Team Liquid. Wouldn't that game be exciting? Team Liquid versus Team Singularity, the 2 group leaders.
It would be, yes.
Well, guess what? It's coming up next. Team
All right.
Liquid versus Team Singularity going to be coming up on this stream very shortly, so do not go anywhere, as the 2 leaders of Group A are going to be battling it out to find out who's going to take the top dog position and who's going to be knocked down, or possibly they might even draw. Who knows? I'm excited for this one. I've been following Team Singularity very closely, and of course everyone's been following Team Liquid very closely, so this is going to be a hype as hell match. My name is Noah, she's been Kips. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll be back very soon with Liquid versus Singularity.